rich universities who have massive endowments. They are among the schools that plan to prorate room and board costs as the coronavirus has forced them to send students home. I know we were getting ready to do a college trip, and a lot of colleges that we were going to go to said, don't come, please. We're shutting down. What's interesting for students and their parents, great reporting by Janet Lauren. Often you hear from Janet on our own air. A little bit of a breather, right, from the cost of education, even if it's for a quarter of the school year. But what's interesting is you do wonder about potentially a bit of a financial squeeze for the schools because, you know what, they set out their budgets, they plan their years, and there's expected money coming in. They still have overhead costs. So, there will be an impact on some of these universities. As I said, most of them have some pretty deep pockets that they can pull into.
They do, although I will say the economics are radically changed by this entire virus. You think about the NCAA tournaments being canceled. Obviously, the NCAA basketball tournament, that is a huge moneymaker. That is the biggest single source of revenue for the NCAA March Madness. So schools are affected by this, and so both the revenue and the cost side all sort of...
If you're a college town, man, you're going to feel this in many, many different ways. So again, we continue to assess some of the costs of the virus. You're listening and watching Bloomberg Business Week on Bloomberg.
And Bloomberg Business Week is brought to you by the Jewish Communal Fund. JCF's Donor Advised Fund is a smart choice to manage your philanthropy. Open a JCF fund now to lock in a 2020 tax deduction. Visit jcfny.org.
Life. It's a funny old game, isn't it? 1 minute you're on top, the next, you need all the help you can get. So make sure you're there for those around you. Don't just be a spectator. Be a supporter. Bleed for life. Join us at blood.co.uk.
Between game-winning shots and walk-off home runs.
Pitch. Swinging a line drive, slice down the right field line toward the corner. Looking up, and this one is gone!
Follow TuneIn on social media to stay in the game. From live reminders of the biggest games in every league, to staff pick recommendations of our favorite sports shows and podcasts.
Yeah, but you're really greedy, Dak, but nobody's thinking that yet.
You know how these contracts work. All that 40 years for 5 years for $200 million.
Follow at TuneIn on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to hear more sports.
A lot of people aren't aware that TuneIn lets you listen to the same terrestrial stations that you pick up on your FM AM dial, except you can hear them from anywhere. To see all the stations broadcasting in your area, find the local radio section on the home screen. Keep it local with TuneIn.
The puck drops. 12 players face off to win. The suspense is pure torture, but you wouldn't miss this for the world. TuneIn brings you every minute of the NHL season. Listen live to hockey when it matters most on TuneIn.
The government has coordinated and streamlined its coronavirus messaging, but is it the right message?
What's really necessary is for the people in the government who don't know the details to stop telling us things like there will be a vaccine in 1 year. Stop it. That's not helpful.
Making sense of the noise and the silence on this week's On the Media from WNYC. Listen to the On the Media podcast from WNYC Studios on TuneIn today.
And broker-dealers create great experiences for their clients is our priority. Through our integrated wealth experience, we give you a high-touch service, flexible technology choices, and expert insights, so you can deliver a highly personalized experience to your clients at every step, from onboarding to wealth planning, to performance analysis and more. And because we're part of BNY Mellon, you'll benefit from more than 230 years of strength and stability. At Pershing, we're personally invested in your success.
Visit Pershing.com to learn more about Pershing's integrated wealth experience. Pershing LLC and Pershing Advisor Solutions LLC are both members of FINRA and SIPC.
Are you interested in a challenging and exciting career? One where you can be part of solving complex challenges across industries and geographies? Bloomberg's ever-expanding technology, data, news, and media services foster innovation, empower clients, and offer nearly limitless opportunities for career growth. Visit Bloomberg.com/careers today to view our current job opportunities. Bloomberg LP is an equal opportunity employer. The address once again is Bloomberg.com/careers.
Message and data rates may apply. T&C and privacy terms can be found at babbel.com/terms. Please don't text and drive.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but you thought it'd be too hard or take too much time? Then try Babbel for free by texting EXPLORE to 64,000. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out teaching you words and phrases by matching them with pictures. You won't believe how easy the interactive program is. Soon the sentences get a little bigger, and before you know it, you're having simulated conversations voiced by native speakers. And because Babbel is crafted by language experts and uses the spaced repetition method, in just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking the language of your choice with real confidence. With Babbel, you can speak a language. Just text EXPLORE to 64,000 and start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Download the Babbel app or text EXPLORE to 64,000 and try it for free. Text EXPLORE to 64,000.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and on Quick Take by Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
From Bloomberg World Headquarters, I'm Charlie Pellet. Steep losses on Wall Street just about 3 weeks ago. The S&P 500 index was setting records. Today, it is smoldering 27% below those highs. S&P plunging 260 points today, down 9.5%. Dow Jones Industrial Average lower by 2,352 points. That was a drop of 10%. NASDAQ plunged 750 points, down 9.4%. 10-year up 20-30 seconds, yield 0.80%. Gold up 0.3% right now at $15.80 the ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude down 6%, $30.99 a barrel. Lots of after the bell headlines. Oracle topped analyst estimates for quarterly sales. Broadcom, a chip maker that supplies Apple and other large electronic companies, has withdrawn its annual sales forecast. And the Walt Disney Company says it is closing its Disneyland resort in California on Saturday through the end of the month. Recapping, stocks plunge. S&P down 260 points, a drop of 9.5%. I'm Charlie Pellet, and that is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much. You're listening and watching Bloomberg Business Week on Bloomberg.
All right, so I have been the beneficiary of this company's good work, their look. We're talking about Great Clips. The CEO is here. Steve Hockett is his name. He's based out in Minnesota in the Twin Cities area. He's here with us in New York City today. Steve, great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How crazy is it for you? I'm just going to ask you, how crazy is it for you guys right now?
It's really crazy. It is.
I saw your team in our green room, and they're like, we've been nonstop 24/7.
Yes, we have. And we've got 4,500 salons across the U.S. and Canada. The franchisees, they employ 40,000 stylists. We do over 2 million haircuts a week. So there's a lot of moving parts that we've got to manage as we represent the Great Clips brand.
Are you shutting down?
Not yet.
Are you shutting some down?
What we want to do, the reason I'm here in New York, we're headquartered in Minneapolis, is we preach balance and calm. We also want to be smart and forward thinking, and we want to be nimble. And I wanted to come out here rather than saying, hey, I'm going to avoid New York City, because that's what we talk to our franchisees about. We want to do the right thing, but we want to have what I call an agile mindset to what a good decision today may be a different decision tomorrow. And the decision I'm making for tomorrow may have to change by tomorrow night. And that agile approach is key, as we're a retail business. And people have to put their hand in our door handle to come in. But at the same time, we are going to be careful, and we're going to be our customers. We want to protect our stylists. We have that care as an element of who we are, and so it's a balancing act.
Right. Well, and let's take it a step further. In addition to people putting their hand on your door handle, getting a haircut is a pretty intimate act, dare I say,
yes.
There's a lot of human to human contact. It's something, in the age of social distance that we're worrying about. You also have a franchise system. How do you sort of ensure that everybody's doing the right things?
Well, on the first point on the social distance, it is interesting to hear people talk about stay 6 feet apart, 3 feet apart. Well, a haircut, you're zero.
Yeah.
I mean,
good luck with that, right?
Yeah, right. So cleanliness, sanitizing. I mean, that is a big part of what we have done since our start. It's what all hair salons do. I mean, our stylists are very skilled at the cleanliness and sanitization, because we do that every day. We are ramping it up. How do we do more? How do we have more diligence, do more of that now? But that's a key thing. So, Jason, as we work with our franchisees, we explain that, but we give them tools, and we have a big communication going out literally in the next 40 minutes to our 1,200 franchisees, and so how do we communicate with them and give them tools so they can deal with their staff and be pillars in their community, but yet be smart about this whole situation.
Hey, I got to ask you, Steve, one of the conversations we've been having here in the newsroom is, okay, so what do you do? You know, some of us work for companies where if we stay home, we're going to get paid. And there's no problem about that. We can make the mortgage, we can pay our bills, no matter kind of how long this goes on for. A lot of workers are hourly workers that if they don't show up, they don't get paid. So I'm curious, tell me about your policy that you want a sick worker to stay home, but they might not because they know they need to come to work because they can't afford not to. So what are you doing to ensure that workers who maybe should stay home do? I'm just curious.
Yeah, and it's what we're faced with. We have great jobs in Great Clip salons, and as I said, we have 40,000 stylists, but they are hourly wage workers. That's just the great jobs, but they are hourly wage. So that is that balancing act I'm talking about, where they want to work because they don't want disruption, but yet there is disruption, and there's epicenters around the country, and we work with franchisees. How do they move staff between their salons if they can? How do they kind of handle reducing hours possibly rather than just laying off people? How do they manage and work? Because when this passes, they want to ramp back up. Right. So the goal here isn't for franchisees. They're not just saying, I'm going to get rid of employees. They're struggling with it because they want to keep employees. They know that their livelihood is based on being paid, but tips are down. And so
But you don't have a policy to say, listen, you're sick, you can stay home.
We do.
And we'll pay for you?
Well, the franchisees, see, again, we have the layer where the employees aren't Great Clips Inc. employees. In a franchise system, they're the employees of the franchisee. So we work with the franchisees to say, hey, if your employees are sick, suggest they stay home. They have to do that. That's the smart thing to do. But the employees have to admit, hey, I'm not feeling well. Right. I mean, we don't have, franchisees aren't taking temperature. So,
but will the franchisees pay them if they stay home?
Some of them will. Okay. And I know some of them are doing that. And that they're saying, I want this employee to be a great employee. And this is unfortunate that they don't feel well in this situation. So how do I keep them? And some will absolutely pay their employees in a self-quarantine or stay home, because frankly, we have more customers coming into our salons, and the first 10 months of this year have been awesome. Best first 10 weeks, not months, 10 weeks than the last 4 or 5 years. And now this coronavirus is going to take the edge off, but we know when this passes, if it does, 60 days, 90 days, 5 months, customers are going to come roaring back because
but
we're
business is off a lot.
We're normalcy. Don't know that yet. Okay. Through last Friday, and the Great Clips business weekends on Friday, we've had a great start to the year. Do I expect that this slowdown? Well, you've heard all the cancellations today. I mean, Ohio even closed their schools this afternoon. And so that's going to have an impact, and we do not have our heads in the sand.
All right, we got a lot more to talk to you about. Stick around. Steve Hockett, CEO of Great Clips, here with us in New York City, based out in Minneapolis. We're going to talk about some sponsorships that they have going for some events that aren't going to happen. So we'll get into that business in just a second. You're listening to Bloomberg Business Week. Jason Kelly and Carol Masser here in New York City on Bloomberg.
The starting gun for your weekday race. Karen Moscow.
Airlines could soon be under pressure.
Nathan Hager.
Apple has reversed course.
Bloomberg Daybreak, beginning at 5 a.m. Eastern on Bloomberg Radio. Bloomberg, the world is listening.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Things haven't been this bad on Wall Street since 1987. Stocks sold off with the